Welcome back. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here we are, game number 2 now of this best of 3 series. We are in it, and we got Prodota versus Mouse Sports. Prodota up 1-0 here of the Summit 7 European qualifying action. Again, our group stages here. What is a GSL format? We got 8 teams, only one of these 8 teams advancing on to the Summit 7 event. That $100,000 prize pool going to be on the line. Looking forward to seeing which of these 8 teams is going on. Well, all I know is that we had a very entertaining game number 1, to say the least, and excited to see how things continue into game number 2. I'm Breaky CPK, joined by Tsunami once again. Tsunami, we're going to see the draft from the beginning this time. Looking forward to this one. We got already, I guess nothing too radical in the draft here, but Bat Rider, this is a Skylark signature, I think it's safe to say.
Yeah, definitely favorite of his, and one that has kind of proven to be a little bit riskier as a first phase pick because of heroes that have been so popular in the meta that are good at dealing with them. Last game we saw the Legion Commander, which is one famous counter pick as press the attack and just get rid of the lasso, and another one is a Baton, but it seems that Prodota really enjoys their Milan Slardar, and Milan definitely did a lot of work in game 1, was able to get many multi-man crushes as soon as that Blink Dagger was completed and set up a lot and allowed this Darkseer to not have to go for it. But aside from that, like these bans are even more surprising to me. The Clockwork ban and the Shadow Fiend ban by Mouse Sports, the first stage. I wasn't even aware that people remembered that Clockwork existed as a hero for the most part. So it's possible that they wanted to take out some of the less traditional ways to deal with the Bat Rider, which Clockwork isn't like the first thing that comes to people's mind, but it definitely makes life unpleasant for Bat Rider if you go in for a Blink Lasso and then immediately Clockwork is jumping on your team, so you're a little bit more vulnerable as a Bat Rider than Clockwork is because you never go for Blade Mail on Bat Rider or anything like that. But I'm sure Mouse Sports know how to draft around a Skylark Bat, and looks like Prodota are not really straying too far from their formula.
Yeah, they got the Lina third pick right here. Yeah, Clockwork, you see that ban, you probably wouldn't expect that in most games, but I will say these last couple of days here, again, casting them, what was the Zodak qualifiers, and I know Prodota was actually in those qualifiers, like I said before, that they got to the finals, they came up short in the end, but they, amongst several teams in that event specifically, were running a lot of Clockwork, and the hero was doing work, I gotta say, as far as just setting up ganks left and right. So I don't know if this is just a recent history reaction, or as you said, maybe a little bit of a matchup specific, but they pick up Earthshaker now as their third pick here, so getting more of their supporting cast set up first. But again, Prodota with the Lina definitely lining up to be that mid Lina here.
Oh yeah, you're right. Freaking Prodota last 3 months got a whole 12 games on Clockwork and it's 83% win rate. So
jeez.
Yeah, definitely some team specific knowledge coming here, because that's definitely something to fear. Earthshaker is a little bit surprising to me, not only because whenever we've been seeing him, it's typically in like an offlane oriented position, and I don't think Skylark's going to be like jungling with this Bat Rider or anything, so it's possible that Earthshaker may just stick around with the Bat Rider for the first few minutes of the game, wait to see if they can get some kills on these squishy supports like the Crystal Maiden, or, I mean, Slaughter isn't too squishy, but if he has to deal with the whole Fissure and then Sticky Napalm and a Firefly, then he will go down quite quickly, especially if he's sprinting, so...
Yeah.
The thing I'm most concerned for Mouse Sports is just making sure that this Earthshaker is able to not only get farm, but be useful in the early and mid game, because not the most traditional roamer, and for a good reason, as he is very mana intensive and very positioning dependent as well, because you basically need to wait for the enemy to go into a bad position, and you can't really like Earth Spirit roll in or anything like that. You just need to land a Fissure and make sure you block off an entire escape route.
Yeah. We're going to ban out the OD on the side of Prodota here, so don't want to give the Thug his OD pickup. The final ban for Mouse Sports. In response, probably going to be more of that one position, and indeed it is with the Lifestealer, actually. Could have potentially been pretty strong right here. So, yeah, who is that final pick going to be now? As their middle option, you know, hell, Puck? I mean, comes to mind once again. It feels like it could perhaps fit well here. I don't know about the matchup specifically against Alina necessarily, but seems like a hero that Thug does like. And there we go.
There we go.
Radiant team.
In this specific matchup, Puck definitely has a pretty easy time. Most of the time, you know when Lena's gonna go throw out a Dragon Slave. It's when she auto attacks all the creeps, and then she's gonna go try to push out the wave and go for runes. But Puck has, you know, basically as much magic versus Lena, so you can contest the wave pretty easily. And Puck has much higher mobility than Alina, so you should be able to get out rune her in most situations. And then obviously the fact that Puck has a silence definitely gives her an upper hand in team fight situations.
Yeah.
Anti-mage.
Ooh. Anti-mage. Everyone's favorite. Get a C right here.
A hero that can definitely deal with Slark, but the problem is you have a hard time dealing with a massive amount of chain disable that Mouse Sports will have in the late game. You've got Lasso, you've got Chaotic Offering, you've got Echo Fissure, Aftershock from the Enchant Totem, and then obviously the aforementioned Puck Silence and Dream Coil. That is a lot for an anti-mage to have to deal with, and it's not much that'll be mitigated by an Aghanim Scepter either. At most, you'll be able to deal with the Batrider Lasso, but aside from that, single targeted spells are at a minimum on the side of Mouse Sports.
Yeah. It's going to be fun to see how that works here for Prodota, of course, in the hands of Garter. Their go-to carry player here. And we got our lineup set up right here. I mean, you look at all five of either side. Is there a side you lean towards almost, or is this going to be coming down to initiation, whoever just plays?
I mean, the anti-mage, I'm concerned for this anti-mage's life. Early game, he's going to be just fine for the most part. Batrider is a little bit of a difficult lane, but if you have good support, which Crystal Maiden is kind of a good support, but anti-mage is not a hero that really spams spells. If anything, you need a hero that can heal you, like a Warlock or a Dazzle or something else like that. But in a matchup like an anti-mage CM, and then I guess you can throw Slardar onto it, Batrider has very little to be concerned about for the most part. So not only is Garter going to have a tough time in lane, but like I said, as the game progresses, like, you almost are going to need a BKB on anti-mage, and you hate having to build BKB on anti-mage, especially if you're like the only true one position here. You're going to need to be split pushing constantly, and hell, even Mouse Sports is okay with that. Last game, Thug went for that early BOTs. He went for that Veil and then BOTs on the Puck. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if he does the same thing again, because if you're able to keep the pace with this anti-mage, if you're able to keep this anti-mage under pressure and not feel confident split pushing, then he's never going to really find his place in this game. So I give the draft to Mouse Sports.
Well, they're going to need it. Again, they're down 1-0 here to Prodota, so trying to stay alive in the series at least. Now, again, overall, it is a double elimination here in the group stages in the sense of the GSL format, as it's referred to usually, where it's a kind of a mini bracket here, 4 teams in each of the 2 groups that we have. So the other 2 teams in this group, real quickly, we're looking at NIP and Empire, which we'll be playing later on today once again. See how that thing moves along there. But, all right, I got the beginning of this game, though, a very aggressive ward put at the bottom lane here by Anti-Mage in the sense of wanting to make sure he knows who's coming in and looking to get down there. Perhaps set up some kills onto him, so he'll have that taken care of at least. Meanwhile, a ward put down by Mouse Sports in the Radiant Jungle as well. Is there a potential that, I mean, it looks like it's just going to be the Batrider down here at the bottom lane. I mean, I guess, like, could Earthshaker end up down here? Is there any point of that?
I think Earthshaker may, at the very least, I think he'll put down a fissure to block the wave and help. Oh man, they're really invading Skylark here, but he's in a very good position. Only thing is that now he's kind of separated from the rune itself, as Puck is. Ooh.
He does have Illusory Orb, so he should be fine here, but he's going to take a lot of damage. Meanwhile, on the back lines, actually, Crystal Maiden is taking a lot of damage himself. We do have a first blood coming out over on the other side of the map, but we're going to definitely see a kill right here. Are you kidding me? Of course it's going to happen in a game like this with these 2 teams going at it. Crystal Maiden goes down, but up Batrider's in trouble. Oh, the fissure block on the 2 melee heroes, and thus they cannot chase. I mean, they technically had a blink on Anti-Mage, but not worth committing to that. Yeah, what was that about at the top lane?
That was, I mean, I guess Prodota dominance for the most part. Now with BZZ getting gone in by Minara, and at this point BZZ has all but shown that he has overwhelming odds at level 1. I don't really know what Warlock was doing, because he died in the river, and there are very few situations that you would be in the river as a support at that stage of the game. But yeah, he gives up first blood, and that is a pretty big boost for a mid Lina.
That is. That's going to help quite a bit for Kaiser right here. With that said, he's going to start feeling some pressure now from the Warlock, getting some revenge.
Yeah, Spartan wants to atone for his sins. Definitely do some harass to Kaiser, but right off the bat, Kaiser's going to complete a Null Talisman, and Thug has a Null Talisman of his own, but Kaiser also has significantly more regen, as he still has a Salve, and he's going to definitely be able to take advantage of the Shrine much later than the Puck will.
Entertaining start here once again to game number 2, so keeping up the momentum from game to game, definitely. Maybe next time he's, again, when you talk about level 1 abilities, Fissure's arguably one of the best in the game, and we're going to see why right here. He's going to use it, maybe? There, no, well, never mind. I was hoping that he would make us see why, but unfortunately he puts it on the wrong side.
Yeah, that's the danger. As I said, you have to really wait for the enemy to be out of position, and for what it's worth, Lina has a pretty low move speed, and Kaiser has, like I said, opted for the second Null Talisman as opposed to Boots or Windlace or any other repositioning items, so he's assuming that, I guess, the Crystal Maiden will be able to help mid, but again, like, this is not a hero that heals. Crystal Maiden is a hero that will be farming selfishly for the most part, which so far she has, but not the greatest at turning ganks around. Meanwhile, top lane, BCC just barely TPs out.
By the way, that's not BCC, is it? Because he's 6-3.
Oh, wait, I thought it is.
Yeah, this
I thought
is
33
just
was always BCC.
No, that's 6-3-3.
Oh!
So it might be ZZ, I guess. I never really thought about that, but no, yeah, I believe BZZ plays for another team.
Okay, yeah, I was confused. It said stand-in though, and so I was just like, all right, like, this just got BZZ on the team.
Yeah.
All right,
we'll call him ZZ.
Then.
We can just do that.
We can do that.
Anyway, so yeah, he gets away though. He pops the shrine out. He did a good job right there. I noticed that you see these offlaners do that, where rather than TPing back to base in cases like that, obviously you just TP to the shrine and just use that, and you get right back in the lane. So much more effective, much more efficient there. So, but yeah, both sides with that Null Talisman here, as talked about, between the Lina and the Puck here in the middle lane. But right now, Lina 7-2, Puck 17-4 has bottom. Yeah, they're good. But Puck is definitely winning this middle matchup quite a bit. Of course, Warlock being here initially probably has a little bit to do with that.
Yeah, and that definitely mitigates a big portion of whatever advantage Lina would have gotten out of that first blood, because as both the Puck and the Lina get spells and get levels, it comes out on Puck's favor, as you see there. Face shifting out of the... Oh, Kaiser getting gone in on by Skylark. This is a really early rotation.
Oh, hi, Bat Rider, who's supposed to be off lane. Going to rotate to the middle, but obviously only level 3, so doesn't really have too much to be able to lock him down at this point. And instead, Lina will just go back
deep.
off.
They are very deep.
They are too deep, you could say. Bat Rider, yeah, Skylark got way ambitious right here, and I don't know what the game plan. I mean, they really wanted this Lina dead, was definitely. They knew that she was going to come use a shrine, I guess, but they did not expect that supporting cast to be there.
There was a small window of time because they needed the Earthshaker also for that kill, and if the Earthshaker's gone for too long, Anti-Mage is like, oh, there's no one in my lane for the past 2 minutes. Someone is definitely getting ganked on the other side of the map, but it's a little bit unreasonable to be able to get a kill on a Lina before your Bat Rider even has level 6, which many times recently we've been seeing Bat Riders skip their lasso at level 6 just for more lane dominance, and if you know that you're not going to be roaming around the map. But the way Skylark's playing, like, just straight up boots Windlace level 3, he's trying to get kills, and now Kaiser might go down despite all that. Maybe next time does not have a fissure for another few seconds, but Kaiser is a long way from home.
Yeah, Illusory Orb is ready to go soon, and this basically makes the point. It's like, all right, maybe try to take you with her. Do as much damage as possible because he has support, but the Shrine, he used nice face shift as well, just in case. And now Crystal Maiden's in trouble herself. She's going to go for the TP, but that Enchant Totem will prevent her from getting out, and a couple of kills in response now from Mouse Sports happens here. So well played. Now the 3-2 lead. And so Lina keeping her in check quite a bit here in this middle lane matchup. Both do have
I think
that
the Crystal Maiden and Slardar were trying to investigate, because the way Skylark's playing, he's playing as if he has tons of jungle stacks. And now he does not have Firefly. Milan has sprint in 1 second, but you can't catch up.
Nah. No Firefly. It doesn't really matter. And again, Earthshaker was also nearby just in case, so You know, where they're getting that kill right there. But Anti-Mage, he's obviously doing very well. He's got the Ring of Health. He's going to be finishing the power treads here. But Anti-Mage is still one of those heroes that likes the Battle Fury. He's one of the few. Like, he's the only one off the top of my head that I can think, really, that actually builds that Battle Fury.
It's a short list, and for what it's worth, at this point, Battle Fury is about, like, it's slightly net buffed. Initially, it was, many people considered it to be nerfed because, you know, it wasn't a circle anymore. It turned into a cone, and then just, like, the damage in general was just lower, but it's invaluable on an anti-mage. I am surprised that other heroes have just like completely given up on it, especially after Helm of the Dominator fell off the face of the earth. But yeah, all these other teams, all these other players, all these other heroes just don't care about the item anymore.
Yeah, no, that item just died freaking fast. Yeah, top lane though, Spartan. That's going to be a dual victory for the LC. Now, can he get out in time is the question. This time the block is somewhat successful. Going to set up a Dream Coil right here, and Madara also coming in. So the victory is going to come at a cost at least. But at least he, you know, I'm thinking, you know, the cup half full here for both sides.
Oh, definitely. Especially seeing as how the Legion Commander last game did not have very many dual victories for a long time. Now hasted up Skylark. Again, he's only level 4, but a haste rune definitely helps out, as meanwhile above that...
Yeah, they're clashing right here on either side. Down goes Earthshaker, Malaz dropping low, so is Kaiser actually. Malaz goes down, Kaiser goes down. And at 3-for-1 is how the ultimate picture looks, because if you count the LC just before that, what just happened. Really a 2-for-1 in that small skirmish right there. But yeah, they really just ended up fighting into one another at that top rune spot.
This Skylark Batrider, like I don't really know how much I got to see of it in Kiev, but this is so aggressive early on, especially because, like I said, Batrider does fairly well against Anti-Mage in the lane. Every single time Skylark is hanging around, Garter has been backing off. He has 10 stick charges, but you see that he can't go toe-to-toe against this Batrider. But despite all that, Skylark is like, I don't really care about you, Anti-Mage. I am going to make sure that this Lina just hates her life. And yet again, they get a pretty successful turnaround.
Well, this is kind of another benefit of a Batrider, though, in the lane, at least. You know, he's kind of taking that big stacked camp off to the side and using that Firefly with the burn to be able to get most of the farm. Maybe next time, meanwhile, he's trying to block them off and run the other way, but with that blink right over from Anti-Mage, it still might be a dead Earthshaker. And, yeah, Skylark nearby, unfortunately, just going to have to watch his friend fall. Just arm's length away, really. So, good kill on an Earthshaker, at least, coming out for Prodota, but... Yeah, that's what I was going to get at, though. I mean, is this the most efficient from Batrider in the sense that he can lane and even jungle pretty effectively with the stacks and whatnot? Right now, he's only about 2,000 net worth. Would it have been more effective in hindsight, maybe to sit more in the lane, perhaps even the jungle?
I guess this is the Mouse Sports thinking the same way that I thought about the draft, which is to say that you can let this anti-mage get farm. What's the worst that can happen? If he does manage to get, you know, late game items, can he deal with the insane amounts of chain disable that Mouse Sports have? Say he gets like a, you know, 15-minute Battle Fury, say he gets an early Manta style, will it really help him stay alive or accelerate further than the Slark is going to be doing? Because, I mean, Slark has also been quietly farming away. He's not as high net worth since he hasn't been participating in any kills. He just got that one assist on the Legion Commander after that successful duel, but, like, Slark is going to be a team fighting carry, and he's going to be participating with Mouse Sports, whereas Anti-Mage, he's not going to be a team fighting carry for a long time, and you only need the puck to make sure that Garter can't be a split pushing carry either. So I can agree with what Skylark is doing here.
Well, he's burning down all the trees for now, living up to his pyro name really, and making it the vision or the idea of hiding here for the supports especially, not really going to be had against him. So Anti-Mage will go back into the lane, though, and continue his farm, which does continue to be at the tops of the charts, of course, at 4,300 net worth. Puck, though, up there with him. Also at 4,300, and once again does get the earlier on Villa Discord here. Does Thug. So see the early progression being made by him. Lina is going to be going the Bloodstone, it looks like. ASAP.
Oof. Skylark has Lasso at 6. Wants to find something. This is like, it's so much. If you looked at a heat map of Skylark's movement this game, you'd see like barely any activity in the bot lane and so much near this mid lane, but it's been working, and he's not wasting too much time, to his credit. Like, Anti-Mage, yeah, he is top net worth, but he's only like 300 on top of the Slark, and Slark's been, you know, like I said, not really been participating in that many kills, and Slark is currently level 9, and so he hasn't even been falling behind in experience. He's actually out-leveling the Anti-Mage right now because it was just Warlock in his lane, whereas Anti-Mage had the CM and the Slardar for a little bit.
Yeah, true. That Shadow Blade almost finished, just needs the Claymore now. 1,400 gold, but LC's almost level 10, man. LC, again, has that level advantage against Batrider, definitely. In fact, that he's almost level 10. Pretty crazy stuff. In fact, Slark, he's going to be collapsed on right here. Lena going for the big burst. Use that the Laguna Blade at first, but it's not enough damage. Chaotic Offering going to come out in response. Only hit Lena, though. They really just wanted to make sure to keep Slark alive, but now Warlock, he's going to fall on Puck. He's also caught out in a kind of an awkward spot. Lucerio forward, though. We got 1 kill. He gets 2 kills with the Dream Call, but Anti-Mage, he went to go use the Mana Void, but actually it looked like it was a little bit too far. I don't think it was going to be enough for the kill anyways.
Yeah, he canceled it.
And now Crystal Maiden dead.
She will be sacrificed. Anti-Mage is still kind of on the run, but yeah, Thug doesn't have Dream Coil anymore. It was, if they killed the Slark off, then Prodota would have definitely come out way ahead. Skylark still has Lasso. They're going to use it.
Yeah, use it right over that fissure. Milan's like, crap, there's this huge wall in the way now. As press the attack activated, though, by 3-3. And now we have the big Crystal field in the background, the freezing field even. And down goes Earthshaker as a result of it. Now Batrider on the run. Kaiser ports in, though.
Oh, his Firefly's about to time out. Oh, he gets away.
Gets away with the blink dagger. Right? Or that wasn't even a blink.
Whenever you're on like non-pathable terrain, it just like repositions you on the closest spot. And so I was concerned that it was going to shove him down south, but no, it shoved him to the east, and Skylark gets out. I'm very surprised that Skylark and maybe next time went for that, because neither of them had TPs available. But if you only have to give up the Earthshaker for basically like a 3-hero TP rotation, then I suppose that's worth it. And Skylark not dying also means that he is continuing to get closer and closer to his Blink Dagger. He's just about 600 gold away.
Top lane, they were almost setting up for some kind of smoke play, but instead Lena is actually just going to jungle quite a bit. The Laguna Blade is back up, ready to go, but again, she's really trying to finish that Bloodstone ASAP, gets level 10, and does choose to get the cast range challenge. I feel like that's definitely a give or take between Lena to Lena player. I know the LSA damage is also appealing, the fact that it cleans out creep wave so quickly, if anything, for earlier on. But in this case, Kaiser likes the idea of the cast range here.
Yeah, against the Slark and the Batrider, you want to be able to stay as far back from the fight as possible. And whenever your Legion Commander happens to get a Blink Duel, it's kind of difficult for Lena to follow up. But that little bit of cast range can make all the difference to chain stunning a Slark or the Slark getting away.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Shaker running away. Speaking of that, at the top lane, realizes that there's probably some pressure coming, so he'll be fine. And we're starting to see some blinks now. We already got the Blink Dagger picked up by Puck right there, and we talked about Batrider. Yeah, he almost has it here now. 2,000 gold saved up on him, 2,100 even, as they're doing some tower trades right now. Meanwhile, that middle tower going down, but the top tower in favor of Prodota. Looking to be killed off, so evading each other right now.
Yeah, and this is really good positioning by Garter. He could be sitting around in that bot lane, and that's what Mouse Sports are expecting, but instead Garter is in the safest part of the map right now, not even farming his own primary jungle, but the secondary jungle right now. And he's getting closer and closer to that Battle Fury. But again, like once he completes the Battle Fury, he doesn't really get any safer. He farms a little bit faster, but you are still going to be very vulnerable once Mouse Sports starts putting some aggressive wards up, which after they finish off, they actually don't finish off the bot tier 1. We're still waiting for Anti-Mage to show up. There's so much like attention being put around the vicinity of the tier 1, but not actually onto the tower.
Yeah. Now Madara, he's scouting this out with a Shadow Blade, but it is going to wear off right there. So, yeah, he has to really keep his distance. But as you said, Anti-Mage is just like, all right, I'm just farming elsewhere. Right? He's doing just fine. Just a little bit closer now to that Battle Fury. Again, just needing the broadsword here and that 1,200 gold. So, and they're going to end up evading a fight in the end. So, well played there by Prodota overall. I mean, obviously the bottom tower was eventually taken out by Mouse Sports, but trying to be really patient with that. But Garter, again, not having any of it. Smart enough of a player to realize that something's going on. And thus he never gave them the chance. So Earthshaker will push out the bottom lane, but he's going to have to get back pretty quickly here if he wants to stay alive. But he does have 1,300 plus gold now saved up. So again, his own Blink, it's coming along nicely here. He's only level 5, though, currently. Ideally, he will be level 6, of course, by the time he gets it, but still.
Yeah, I mean, even the levels isn't that big of a deal. The fact that maybe next time is sitting on a 13, almost 1,400 gold bank, that's pretty valuable for an Earthshaker who really hasn't been able to find too much after those first few minutes. He's been kind of under the radar and still hoping that no one's going to find him. Like, I commend Garter and the rest of Prodota protecting this anti-mage, but this isn't the way that you want to have to play an anti-mage. You don't want to have to babysit an anti-mage from the shadows like this. You just set him and forget him. You're like, okay, we gave you a pretty good lane, and now we're going to make space for you across the map. But Garter's not... He's consuming space.
Yeah.
All of these heroes have to stay all on him just to make sure that he doesn't get chain disabled. And now that he's completed Battle Fury, oh,
nope.
Tyler.
Now he blinked right into that one, Lasso, but there's that press the attack, purchases it off immediately. Meanwhile, Earthshaker, the fissure, I guess you can kind of call that a block. I don't even know if that was intended, to be fair, but it blocks them off rather than blocking them in. They will kill the LC freely. But again, at least he keeps Anti-Mage alive. But that's kind of what you're getting at there. LC is almost playing like this, stick to the Anti-Mage and be ready to purge him when need be.
Exactly.
That kind of takes away from what LC would like to be doing in terms of perhaps going for kills. But I don't know, at the same time, couldn't you argue now? I mean, LC has the blink, Slaughter. I guess maybe they need Slaughter blink. Once Slaughter gets blink, then they can start maybe playing a little more aggressive themselves and just opening up more of the map for the Anti-Mage.
Yeah, I know the Chinese Lena's really like Shadowblade early on. Kaiser's going for that Bloodstone as mentioned earlier, and so that's one of the ways that you can follow up is now Kaiser's actually going to get spotted out by a hasted up Thug, Dream Coil.
That's a big find right there. No Dream Coil. Dream Coil was used, yeah, but is it enough? Oh my god, it's not. LC actually gets the duel off on a puck. Laguna Blade helps secure the job, and now Warlock's in trouble. Freezing Field catches him. He'll go down, and what was sure to be a kill on Alina ends up being a turn of a 2-for-0 with the Chaotic Offering even committed. They don't get any kills out of it. That is huge for Prodota.
Definitely. Despite the Vit booster of Kaiser sitting in his backpack quietly, he still had just enough HP to survive the burst. And really, the Mousesports Warlock did not want to have to spend the Chaotic Offering. And if he knew that he was going to have to spend it, he would have spent it on the initial burst on the Lina. But it wasn't enough to get the kill, and then it was just like, oh crap, I gotta turn this fight around. Throws out the Chaotic Offering. Unfortunately, Puck was dead already. And the Chaotic Offering immediately gets insta-gibbed. You don't even get to push with it. You don't even get to get a kill with it. So Prodota definitely quick rotations getting rewarded.
Blink in the stash of Earthshaker. So coming along again, he's level 7 now. So maxed out Fissure here, has that Echo Slam. Where do they go? Maybe going to try to make a play on a Slaughter with that new Blink Dagger of his if it gets delivered in time. But Thug's going to go lead the way. Earthshaker from a distance going to pop that Fissure. But again, you do have a Crystal Maiden nearby. As is Lena, they're going to lasso Crystal Maiden and actually saw him over to the side. And they'll be happy with at least the 1 kill. But you know, if you're committing quite a bit to just get a Crystal Maiden kill, then I think Prodota, that's something they'll take. Because meanwhile, more farm for Anti-Mage, pushing out the top lane. And he actually has his Yasha finished. Just a matter of putting it all together here.
Yeah, it's not a hero that you want to have to spend 5 heroes for as Mousesports. For some reason, Madara just has not been able to find very many picks. Like, at this point, I don't know how 33 has been positioning himself, but the fact that you're never finding the Legion Commander and the fact that this Anti-Mage is feeling so arrogant, almost farming in these dangerous positions, you can kind of assume that someone is nearby protecting the AM, because Garter isn't stupid. He's not going to go out this far unless he doesn't have protection. And so if you can get the Legion Commander tracked down as a Slark, then the rest of your team can very quickly follow up on the Anti-Mage himself. So far, I just haven't, like, ever since the Shadowblade pickup, I haven't seen Madara, like, find a single Prodota hero by himself. Yeah,
Slark, again, he's definitely been trying a fair amount, but unable to really find that target. And, yeah, building that Lincoln Sphere now, as far as this next item goes. You talked about it even last game. The idea of the duel is going to be the big one, but there's a lot more single target abilities this time around on this on Prodota's side. You know, between the Crows of Haze, obviously the Mana Void, which I don't know if that's a target you'd necessarily be looking for, obviously in fights, but again, the duel is definitely the big one, though, that he's going to want that Lincoln Sphere against. So get the Shadow Dance off in time right here, but it is much more of a defensive item with that said, so the idea of scaling with that damage output and hunting down heroes, which he's lacking right now, is maybe not going to be as strong as we progress here.
Yeah, he's definitely not going for anything at Silver Edge or the Echo Saber. It's very conservative, and it'll help Mousesports' siege capabilities, especially because Puck is also... Oh, no Anti-Mage blinks out. See, like 33 is constantly babysitting this Anti-Mage, and at this point, it's starting to come in Prodota's favor because Anti-Mage has gotten through a rough hump of the game, which is the debut of the Batrider Blink Dagger and the debut of the Puck Blink Dagger, and that's one of the hardest phases pre anything for an Anti-Mage. Like a Battle Fury is an exclusively aggressive item. It's not going to help you save your life at all, and Manta Style still also will not really help you that much, but you become very much more mobile, and it's just...
Oh, wow. LC's going in right here with a duel, but he's going to be caught out kind of right here. Chaotic Offering used in response, and Laguna Play will snipe out the kill on a Batrider. Freezing Field also activated. Earthshaker on top of the cliff right here. He's going to end up going down to the Freezing Field. Madara will finally finish the job, at least, onto the LC. But so far, the numbers in favor of Prodota. It's going to end up being a 2 for 2, though, as Madara pounces on in to finish the job there. But again, LC, that was a very ambitious dive. He didn't get the victory in the end, and I guess either side not overall that disappointed with how the fight played out,
Spartan.
but yeah, Warlock's now in some trouble. Kaiser trying to finish the job there, but sees Madara coming in and figures it's better to survive than secure that kill on a Warlock, if anything. But again, I keep going back to, though, like, these even trades are benefiting Prodota, right? Because if anything, Anti-Mage just still continues to farm.
Yeah, they're benefiting Prodota because Mouse Sports keep having to dedicate 5 heroes. Like, Thug is not, like, contesting Garter at all, because Thug needs to help out with these team fights. Thug needs to help out the Slark, because Slark isn't able to get kills by himself, and Earthshaker and Batrider are a great initiation, but as we see time and time again, Prodota are always one step ahead with their press the attacks or that aggressive duel, and so they're making a lot of space for the Anti-Mage, and no one on Mouse Sports is contesting him, and so I'm still not like 100% on this Anti-Mage. He will have troubles. He will have to join a fight at some point, and he's going to get very, very disabled. But if Prodota make enough space in the middle of the fight that Anti-Mage is just kind of like on the outskirts dealing damage, then he has nothing to be concerned about.
Oh, Thug stealing that Infister and right in front of everyone, and he pours out in time, or blinks out even, before he gets caught. So well played right there by Thug and Madara, just in case, checking the Roshan pit, but obviously not being done. Yeah, Anti-Mage, I mean, his passive, and it kind of goes back to obviously why I'm sure they picked this hero with that final pick. It's so strong against Mouse Sports, right? The 50% damage reduction on magic damage. This is a very magic damage heavy dealing team outside of the Slark, of course.
Yeah, and even Slark not that great against a matchup against Anti-Mage because Anti-Mage can just blink out of the pounce, and so yeah, it's I agree that definitely this is a very, very survivable Anti-Mage, especially against what Mouse Sports have, and they can't even build to adapt to that. There's no way you're going to see a right-click Puck. Exactly. I mean, at least pre-25, maybe once Thug gets 25, you'll see like Mjolnir or something like that. But before that, it's going to be tricky. Now, they have one Lincoln Sphere completed on Madara, and so that'll help with the duel. And so they're going to be able to get a little bit of tier 3 damage as 3 heroes from Prodota are up top and starting to TP now, but Garter's still hanging around, trying to push it out, and Mouse Sports are going to back off.
Yeah, it seems like that's definitely what Mouse needs to be doing, though, is the idea of forcing them back, if anything, you know, push objectives while Anti-Mage is still trying to farm up quite a bit. Now, they're going to catch Slaughter right here. Press the attack will not save him in the end, so nice pick-off. And, again, another part of the game plan for Mouse is get the pick-offs around the Anti-Mage and trying to transition into the Tier 3 tower. The Dream Coil committed to Legion Commander right here. No press the attack to be had. In comes the follow-up. The Blade Mail's up. The Earthshaker will fall. Use the Echo Slam right there as a Shadow Dance popped by Madara. He's going in onto Garter, but doesn't want to commit too deep as, again, his Shadow Dance is currently now on cooldown. The upheaval, though, is causing a little bit of an issue in the midst of this fight.
Just a little bit.
Oh, that's a big lasso. Will he have the follow-up damage? Man, is he tanky. He shows it off right there. Pops the Manchester. He's still going to blink in. He will chase after. No, he actually blinks backwards. Never mind. Doesn't want to go further. So playing it very safe. And that should be the end of this now.
Yeah, unfortunately, Thug didn't have Blink Dagger ready. Otherwise, he would have totally blinked silenced after that lasso. But cooldown dependent, and the fact that Dream Coil was spent on the Legion Commander kill, which is fine. Like, the fact that they were able to draw that much damage on Prodota because of that fake back. They just sent the Batrider to go up top after they stopped sieging the Tier 3, but the rest of Mouse Force were still sticking around, so they were able to kill off the Slardar. And then, again, Legion Commander was like, well, I'm sure they've left now, but no, they stuck around and killed her too.
Madara in the flank. He's going to pick out the Crystal Maiden, actually. He will do so good job of that. And now, can he get away? Oh, yeah, he had to pop the Shadow Dance right there. Puck going in as well. They want to kill the Kaiser, but he pops that new PKP of his, perhaps catching them off guard. Laguna Play not going to be nearly enough for Kaiser, or onto Madara right there. and he will actually pounce away and
courier.
be fine.
Radiant's courier has been
I
killed.
get picked off right there. Nothing was on it, it looks like, but
No.
they're more concerned about getting the hell on out of here. They're about saving that courier.
So these early BKBs are going to start being a factor. Kaiser, yeah, not the best debut of the BKB, but still, it's not only are they very magic dependent in terms of damage on mouse sports, but they're also very magic dependent on terms of keeping enemies still. Like, Madara's not going for a basher. They don't really have any ways of penetrating BKB aside from Chaotic Offering and Lasso. And those stuns are great and all, but you need all of your chain to keep this anti-mage still. And so Lina completed her BKB. Anti-mage is working on his BKB. He's not going to have it for this Roche contest, but Lasso aggressively.
LC gonna be pulled in yet again. Pops that blade mail. Says screw it, I might as well fight this right here. But Madara does finish the job. Skylark actually credit for it. And they're gonna go back into the Roshan pit. So they catch LC, and that should secure the free Roshan now. And what's to be an Aegis for Slark, I'm sure, on top of this. But yeah, you got the couple of Linkets now. Talk about the game, the team's kind of adjusting to how the game with their item builds. A couple of Linkets here, both Slark and Puck, and then, in fact, is Puck picking up this Aegis?
Dire's bottom
The way he's
tower
positioning,
is
it almost feels like he's going to go for it. Okay,
I think, yeah.
Slark will. But yeah, then the BKB, as you mentioned, on Lina, and soon to be on Anti-Mage here. So very defensive on either side when it comes to the item choices here.
It is, but it's their best option because now Anti-Mage is more than large enough as they find Slark but don't have any detection for him.
Yeah, he used a Shadow Blade right as they were going in. But as you said, that's kind of key. Not having the detection, that's unfortunate. In fact, all they got is a couple sentries on Lina here. Or not Lina,
Yeah.
Crystal.
It's tricky to have to go for an early gem because mouse sports are just so... You never really know where mouse sports are. They're so mobile. You got the Slark who's constantly slipping, sliding around. You got this Bat Rider who they might find Garter. And yet again, the loyal Legion Commander is ready to press to attack off or just go in on Madara. He's out of mana.
Yeah, Madara, he's dead.
Duel?
He is definitely blade mail. That's just
Oh.
a oh my god, he barely stays alive with that PKP. How is he living? Unbelievable for Madara. The Q from Lina's not going to be nearly enough. In fact, now comes the Chaotic Offering. Milan's going to go down as well as the LC. And now Lina is still trying to finish the job. They did eventually get the kill on his Slark, but of course he comes right back up. Garter making his way out as he gets killed on Earthshaker. So right now a 2 versus 3, right, or 2-4-3 even. Madara, the fact that he lived there initially is absolutely huge. Now he's looking to make some more plays in this fight. Puck though in the back lines. Something with the illusion currently. Kaiser now, he's in trouble at that base. He goes for a little bit of damage onto Madara right before he gets down, but he'll be back up right away because of the Bloodstone charges and the talent right there at least. So they are going to be able to hold this, and now Garter wants some kills out of this. Mana Void is currently on cooldown. I cannot believe Slark lived though.
Well, yeah, I mean, he definitely burned a lot of time. Eventually, Anti-Mage blinked up while Madara was quietly sitting underneath his BKB and was like, okay, you need to, I'm going to take this Aegis away from you. And so he got that right click. Madara finally did go down, but such a heavy investment. And Legion Commander was not able to get the duel, which I think he was just, immediately after that Echo Slam, maybe next time put a fissure out to the left. And I think the Legion Commander and the Slark were separated. And so just couldn't duel him over that fissure, and as a result, Madara burned so much time and resources of Prodota just with that little sliver of health underneath the BKB. And normally, when your BKB and you have an Aegis, as Garter, that's not it, unfortunately.
And maybe even a turn kill for Garter. Nope, the Mana Void doesn't do enough damage to secure anything, and
Puck
will
dies
survive.
down
A
the mid
Puck
lane.
dies middle. That's a big pick off in return from the Radiant side. LC duel.
How did they pop his Lincolns?
Any items even? Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. Maybe Laguna Blade?
Maybe. As they go in on Legion Commander, nice 2-hero crush.
Spark, good force staff over the ledge though, but now Slark, he's going to stand his ground with that BKB popped, again fighting in the blade mill, taking some return damage, but he will survive. Crystal Maiden also going to get picked off to the side, but that BKB on Kaiser now. Able to hold his zone, but again, Anti-Mage making his way out of here. Slaughter also alive, but way off to the side. Kaiser being run down, though. Madara adding up those charges of the Essence Shift throughout all this, remember, plus 25 currently. Although poured out, oh no, Lina did get picked off there, so.
Dire's middle tower has
Yeah,
She
Puck
ended
did
up
have to
dying
buy
herself.
back, unfortunately, after... it's either... I guess maybe he got Blink crushed and then Corrosive Haze immediately popped off the Lincolns, and so Yeah, that is unfortunate for Thug that he had to buy back after that, but still they come out on top in the fight. Anti-Mage is still doing Anti-Mage things, but he can't really defend this tier 3 until Legion Commander comes up, and once she does, then Garter may start going in because he has the 10-second BKB completed on Anti-Mage, so lasso.
It's going to be a free Crystal Maiden kill at least. Not the prime target, but it's a target here. And Slaughter, though, he's caught up by that duel. He will eventually fall in the tier 3, will remain alive. Chaotic Offering not enough to save it. Now Spartan actually going to have to deal with Garter, just putting an auto attack to him in the back. Last Echo Slam goes off, though, and LC will be taken out, but it's going to come at a cost for maybe next time. The BKB from Garter allows to run him down. He gets a triple kill throughout that fight, including the one onto Slark initially right there. So that's a great finish of that fight, and now Anti-Mage, you kind of see that gap being built with that net worth up there at 18.6K here. So you can't risk too many of those fights like that for Mouse. I mean, it feels like that they've been winning these fights overall, but you give up a triple kill to Anti-Mage, and all of a sudden things get extra scary.
Yeah, Mouse Sports need to stop ignoring the Anti-Mage. Like, you kind of buried your head in the sand about this problem for the first 30 minutes of the game, and it worked out, but you can't be lassoing Crystal Maidens now. You can't be getting subpar initiation because Garter has his BKB completed, and there is very, very little that Mouse Sports can do about it if they waste their big ultimates on, like you said, non-critical targets. That Crystal Maiden pick is great and all, but at the end of the day, what's a Crystal Maiden going to do against your team as opposed to what an Anti-Mage can do against your team? So it's not the worst defense. Mouse Sports, you know, they got a few kills of their own, but Garter gets larger and larger, and the gap gets wider and wider of his net worth.
So I just assumed that Lina actually went the respawn time the way she did Resurrect so fast earlier, but she actually did go the 50 damage, by the way.
Oh yeah, no, she just had Bloodstone charges like crazy.
Yeah. I think they were up to like 16 or 17 or something like that at a point, but yeah, down to 11 right now, but still not too bad, considering how she's died a couple of times here, but there's a top tower push, the secondary tower, and Anti-Mage currently has a Talisman of Evasion, but yeah, the Butterfly going to be next in line for him, and that's going to be a key item to, you know, he's already mitigating so much around the cast of the Slark, and got the Butterfly to help with that to top it all off. But the Silver Edge just picked up on Slark. You know, I meant to bring that up earlier too, with going over Anti-Mage and the idea of that spell shield and how powerful it is against this lineup here. But now with the break of the Silver Edge, that should actually amplify some damage quite a bit.
Yeah, and if Anti-Mage ever goes for an Aghanim Scepter, it may help with that as well. Which the fact that Garter has not had to go for an Anti-Mage, not had to go for an Aghanim Scepter after completing this BKB, just goes to show that he's not really respecting the initiation as they find Slardar. Spend Dream Coil for it, though.
Yeah.
And Lasso.
And Lasso, yeah, but they catch Anti-Mage off to the side, however, the BKB, and he's able to get away barely. He's not done just yet, though. They want to chase us, of course, but another blink, and he should be fine as he's back on the base now. LC, not the same story, though.
I'm very surprised that Thug actually stayed for phase shift in so long. He had a Lincoln Sphere, and so he didn't need to worry about getting dueled, and he may have been able to kill off the Anti-Mage just with right clicks. I mean, sure, it's a Puck. Puck is dealing 220 damage right now, so maybe he could have gotten the kill, but Anti-Mage gets away, still has to spend another BKB, and you get the Legion Commander in the end. So you're going to take this tier 3, see what else they can get.
Fissure hits Lina way back there, but not going to commit for it. You see the racks. That's going to be on top of the tier 3, and they'll be satisfied with that, of course, now opening up the idea of going for Shrines here. And Mouse Sports, again, continues to do a really good job of this kind of poke game here, of really getting a couple picks, pushing the tower a little bit, then falling back. And, you know, unlike last game, frankly, where it seemed like the tunnel vision was real on both sides, and they were just overcommitting left and right. But Mouse Sports has definitely cleaned it up a bit here for game number 2, and they definitely needed that.
At least for that first major siege, and I imagine it's because they got that pick off that they've been just in the vicinity of this Radiant jungle and finally got rewarded for their patience. They keep spending all these ultimates, and the fact that Anti-Mage got so low with just pretty much an Echo Slam is impressive, and it just goes to show that Mouse Sports still have more than enough damage to kill off the Anti-Mage. Now, maybe next time, he does not have very much HP at all.
No, he goes down pretty quickly, but is it going to come at a cost? Anti-Mage, however, the break is on him, but now comes a Chaotic Offering, but he will blink away again. He did have the BKB up. They do take out the Warlock in the background. It looks like the duel used on him, but Crystal Maiden going to fall, but now Anti-Mage goes toe-to-toe with the Slark, and he'll win that fight. A big Mana Void explodes him like he wasn't even there. You see the lasso from Batrider, a last-ditch effort to try to survive. Blink right after, but Slaughter, is ready to land the crush and finish the job. What a mana void from Anti-Mage. That did so much damage.
Yeah, Puck really wanted to show off this shiny new Scythe of Vice. They thought that they would have the upper hand. I mean, they lost the Earthshaker nearly instantly, but they were like, we can still take this fight. But Garter hadn't spent the BKB, and even though Garter did get sheeped, again, the loyal Legion commander, being like a Legion Squire this game, immediately pressed the attack off of the Hex, and once Anti-Mage BKB'd, as we said in the draft, there was nothing that Mousesports could do about it. And not only that, but there was a Lotus Orb on Spartan himself, and so he actually ended up giving double dual victory damage to the Legion Commander. And so now Legion Commander, despite, it seeming mostly under the radar, is sitting on 86 dual damage right now.
Wow, that's actually a really good point. Yeah, that's unfortunate right there, to say the least. As middle lane...
Maybe next time?
Yeah, there's that orb. And he will survive Glimmer Cape just in case. No Basher, as you mentioned, just yet for the Anti-Mage, although he's building that next into the Abyssal Blade, of course. So plenty of damage to come. But yeah, you got the Butterfly now. Actually, going over the talents once again, he has a plus 15% evasion as well from level 20. And then on top of that, I'm very curious when it goes for level 25, because Mana Void being a 20-second cooldown, we saw how powerful it was that last fight.
Yeah, but you're never really... For one thing, not only... Oh, they're going in, maybe? Skylark really wants to find something. If you can find Garter, that'd be great. But he has the Aegis, so how much resources are you willing to spend?
Yeah. Yeah,
so, I mean, the Mana Void cooldown is comedy, but... These fights are over in a flash, and you're not really gonna like. It's a wonder if you can find one good mana target. I mean, mana void target, because Anti-Mage is only focusing one target at a time with mana style plus the, mana break. But yeah, I imagine he will go for agility.
Yeah, no, the agility is definitely the much safer route, and overall probably just the more effective. But we'll be curious to see what he goes for. But right now, Slark needs to worry about staying alive. Duel in the background, Earthshaker going to catch him, so no Echo Slam to be had. Let alone fissure blocks from him. Garter, he's still chasing. By the way, Earthshaker is staying dead. Spartan, a Lotus Orb is up, hoping it's going to help keep him alive. Madara will focus his attention on the LC. The Hex onto Anti-Mage, actually doing quite a bit. The BKB pop by Slark, and now he gets the kill on a Crystal Maiden. Chaotic Offering obviously put down. Garter has to get out, though. Slaughter, meanwhile, chases down Batrider and is able to pick him off, and we do see the 25 agility talent pop up there from the Anti-Mage. He's still hanging around. Yeah, he's going to get the Aegis popped. Milan is here to help him, and Lena is also here as well. There's the Hex from the Shiva. Now Kaiser coming in with the LSA, putting in the right click. Sark is vulnerable. The Mana Void not going to be enough, though. Lows up right after, but it is enough damage to get the kill in the end from the Radiant side. Now Garden needs to worry about staying alive. Illusory Orb, Thug. Oh, he really wants to chase right here. Dream Coil coming up in 5 seconds. But Garden is going a very awkward direction, and that will allow him to escape in the end. Oof. I got crazy there throughout it.
Garter overplayed his hand there. He got out, and he still had his Aegis, and the fact that he was able to survive that long with using the BKB as initiation, like as soon as they got that Earthshaker in the duel, Garter was like, okay, well, I have to BKB now and see what else we can get. So got the kill on maybe next time, and then after that, Garter was just kind of running around without a BKB, like a chicken with his head cut off, and so eventually got out, and then was just like, maybe I could get more kills. Activated his Butterfly for the move speed and got punished for it not once, but twice. And that Aegis did not really get very much of a benefit. Prodota come out like on top of the fight, but you haven't broken high ground with that Aegis. You haven't even finished off the tier 2 mid with that Aegis. So not the best usage of resources from Prodota.
Yeah, very good point actually. So they would have been much better off, definitely in hindsight, resetting right there and looking to make much better use of the Aegis, as I said, even sieging the base, let alone killing those tier 2 towers. But so they'll kind of reset instead with what they have, and still in a very good spot, to say the least. In fact, the net worth, I mean, it's overall a fairly even game, but a lot of that has to do with that supporting cast, of course, of Prodota, which that tends to happen, though, when you have an Anti-Mage. He's taken so much of the farm.
Yeah, it's an extremely top-heavy net worth, and that makes me nervous because Garter's BKB is basically his next one. Or he's basically down to 6 and 5 seconds, and Mousesports have a lot of net worth on their heroes. Like Skylark has managed to complete Shadowblade, and so better to get initiation on the Anti-Mage. As we said earlier, Thug has that Sheepstick completed on the Puck, and I'm not sure what Spartan's going to be going for next. I mean, he's pretty poor. He went for that Lotus Orb, which
Dire's top tower is
I
under attack.
guess was probably just to discourage. I don't know. I'm surprised that he went for the Lotus Orb this early on. I mean, it's a great item, but there's really nothing worth purging off this game aside from Corrosive Haze, and there's nothing really worth reflecting. Yeah, that Mana Void Reflect was nice, but it's not going to make or break a fight. But Spartan just playing defensively, again, maybe they're thinking about high ground siege potential, and so you just put the Lincolns of Puck on top of the Lincolns already of Slark, and then you put a Lotus Orb on top of that, then really there's a very difficult way to kill the Slark. But so far, Mouse have not seen Radiant high ground for a long time.
Yeah. Haven't focused too much on Lena throughout this game, but I mean, she has an Orchid here, obviously back up to 17 charges of the Bloodstone, and she is level 25 now. Of course, she gets the Fiery Soul talent there, so her right clicks are that much more dangerous now as we move on throughout this game. So something to be a little worrisome of if you're Mouse Sports. What did Puck get? He did go the 420 GPM. 420 GPM is real. And God, that it's just crazy looking at that goal just shoot up.
I know, it's
Result.
so amusing. This gold is going to play a big factor because there are a lot of potential items for a Puck to get this game. The Veil at this point is not critical at all, really. He already completed BOTs. His Thug seems to favor this build, so I mean, as a Puck, you could probably, I don't know what you go for actually.
Yeah.
Like, Rod wouldn't be too bad, but no one builds Rod anymore. But against an anti-mage whose BKB is whittling down, like, if you can just keep him stuck in one spot, and he doesn't really have that much to deal with the Rod, he's gonna have to use his Manta Cell to jump into the fight. So you could do that, but chances are slim. Orchid is a possibility into Bloodthorn, as we said. Thug deals a lot of damage. He took that plus 50 damage talent, and it's just another silence, but I mean, he's not going to complete anybody. He needs to save for buyback right now as this Garter anti-mage is sieging their high ground.
That's what I'm kind of wondering. I almost think that transitioning into a bit of that right-click threat, as you mentioned, the Bloodthorn, an item that definitely comes from. It's kind of that nice synergy of allows him to still be a very gank power and initiator, but also gives him plenty of right-click damage. So I think something along those lines could potentially be something that that Thug is perhaps even thinking about and realizing that they may need as this game continues to get longer and longer here. So
yeah, because not only will it help the Puck's right-click potential, but it'll also help the Slark with True Strike. He's working on the Monkey King bar on Madara's Slark, but it's still, like, being able to get that crit and the rest of your team being able to get that guaranteed True Strike during the duration of the Soul Rend, as it is called, will help cut down this anti-mage's survivability pretty substantially.
you see level 25 talent coming up for Slark right here, and well, he just hit 25. We'll see what he selects here. And there we go.
Wow! He actually goes for the leash. Okay. Yeah. This is one of the games that it does make sense. Like we said, anti-mage's BKB is whittling down. What the hell is he going to do once it comes off cooldown? Like, you can blink out, but if the rest of your... I mean, he doesn't even need to go directly onto the anti-mage if he doesn't want to. You go on the Legion Commander, she's basically perma, hex.
There we go, the Hex comes out, and the Lincolns, it is applied to him, actually. Lotus Orb put on his Slark, so they're going to go toe-to-toe, but the Abyssal Blade should help the anti-mage in the process. Meanwhile, until the back goes, they catch Barrow, out comes the Catacophery, though. Madara chasing that Freezing Field, doing plenty. Echo Slam to lock down anti-mage even further. He is getting low, will pop actually back up here and run away or blink away more so. So far, it's a 2 for 2. Lena was picked off in the back lines, and Thug finishes the job on a Crystal Maiden. So numbers-wise, Mouse does come out on top there. This anti-mage able to make it back to base here.
Mid Rax is already taken. They can try going mid to top, or mid to bot. Oh, they're
Or
man, they're going in.
Mid to anti-mage right here. They would love a kill. He knows he doesn't have the most support right now, but it is enough support from Sauter to initially save him at least. Crowder blinks back into the fountain again. This is a pretty deep dive, so got to be careful with this, and Mouse realizing their fault right there. Mana Void to take out the Lincoln Spear. The Abyssal Blade allowed to stun as a result, and Thug will get picked up. He's dead for 110 seconds. No buyback to be had right now for Puck. How do you not have a buyback with 420 gold per minute talent? Jeez.
Don't worry. By the time that... Well, actually, yeah, he may not actually have it by the time that they hit high ground, but they still have to burn through a tier 2. I don't know why Mouse Sports...
They tunnel visioned once again.
They tunnel visioned. It's been the theme of this series. They did it in game 1, they did it again in game 2. Getting a kill on Garter Anti-Mage, yes. it's always great if you kill the anti-mage, but he would have guaranteed had buyback, and he would have been able to, well, he gets broken by Madara, but he can just blink out of a leash, so yeah, there's like it was a low percentage play, and there was, especially with your puck not having buyback, your puck having its buyback death because of that buyback way back when. Like, puck hasn't died. That was the third death for Thug. He's been doing very well, but that one death is pretty expensive as now they get initiated on
that Rider and the Lotus Orb. A nice 4-staff away. By the way, buyback on a puck. He did eventually get it. Madara on the backline trying to finish off Slaughter. He will get the kill right there. Lasso onto Anti-Mage. Where's the follow-up damage on the Echo Slam? But the duel on a Slark, so they're losing a lot of damage from that. Slark goes down. He buys back immediately, though. Again, don't go too deep if you're Prodota now. That's the question for them. Thug, again, if he dies back, he was very close right there with that Dream Coil going in. But he actually, maybe next time goes back in and finishes the job onto LC. Now back here. Garter simply trying to live. No, maybe not. He wants to go back in. Wants to kill Sark once again. 120 seconds. Sark is going to stay dead. Now he's going for another kill to Earthshaker. He'll take him out. Not dead nearly as long, but no buyback either. Spartan going to follow the suit. And he's dead for 70 seconds. Carter goes back in when all the abilities have been used, the big ones at that, and eventually just cleans up here.
Oh, and he almost finds a Battle Rider too. His BKB is going to be up in 3 seconds, so they can definitely take this high ground. The question is, are they going to be fearful of buybacks from Mouse Sports, or are they just going to go in? The positioning of Kaiser is going to show if they know whether or not Mouse Sports has buybacks. And yeah, Earthshaker's going to be up soon. Ooh.
They know Slark doesn't have one, 100%, obviously.
Right.
So, I mean, that's kind of the scary one, if anything. And they're going to dive Bat Rider right there and a guarantee the kill on him. He won't be forced to buy back. And I think that'll do it.
That should do it. They know that Roche may be up by now. There's no... Oh, I say there's no reason to overplay your hand, and yet I see these heroes staying here. They have a good ward, and it's nighttime. Anti-Mage is going back. They should really, like, someone should at least check the pit. Send the courier over the Roche pit or something, because this is... Oh, nice flame break.
I mean, again, with Slark being dead, they feel so confident right here. And I can't really blame them, because we know how tanky Anti-Mage is, once again. Against all this magic.
And especially
here,
as they know that Echo Slam is down. The lasso is up, though, and that's a little bit of a concern, I would feel.
Yeah. I gotta be a little scared about that, but maybe the Rask goes down.
Whoa,
Press the attack would be there. Oh my god, no, don't do this. Not like this, Garter. He's going deep. He gets lost in his result. Chaotic offering. The Echo Slam and Anti-Mage. Oh my god, he does die in the end. However, it's gonna come at a cost. A freezing field put down, and now Warlock. Lotus Orb up on him, trying to stay alive in the backlines. Puck is picked off, though. That's a huge pick because, again, he doesn't have a buyback. Kaiser doing the work right here. He eventually will fall himself, but he gets the kill right before he does. Buyback galore. They want to finish this game right here, right now. Does Prodota. Garter's back. They're going for tier 4s. They're going cutthroat. Slark is back up, though, as mentioned, but no puck. So, again, missing out on the core here. I can't believe that, though. Teammates going deep.
I mean, they're taking tier 4s. Both carries have their BKBs. No, never mind. Garter doesn't have BKB for 10 more seconds.
And obviously Slark, no essence shift charges currently, so not nearly as snowbally right now going into what would be initiation. The Ancient is starting to drop, gets the break up. He goes right for Warlock though, pops the Mantis stun. He's going for the kill. The Mana Void activate, gets the kill. Slark goes down, that should do it. GG, well played. Prodota takes out Mouse Sports 2-0 here in this best of 3. What a finish. Game got chaotic at times.
It's not often that you can dive the Ancients and it's the most tactical play, but Mouse Sports didn't have buybacks. They knew that Puck had bought back earlier, and so no chance for Puck to have a buyback, and Slark was still on a very, very long respawn time, and he didn't have his buyback. The chain disable from Mouse Sports was all there, but they need every ingredient, and the kamikaze play of Prodota actually allows them to come out on top in this first series of the GSL format.
Anti-Mage only had that one death right there. I thought he had died even earlier on in the game, but no, that was his first death.
I'm telling you, he nosedived straight down in. He told his family that he loved him, and then he just went straight down into the Mouse Sports team and successfully killed off 2 heroes, I believe, just for the cost of his 1 life. And yeah, this just goes to show how well Prodota were able to protect Garter throughout the early stages of the game, because you look at the Mouse Sports lineup, you would not expect an anti-mage to only have one death at the 11th hour of the game, but they played well, and Mouse Sports, they had some questionable decision-making that, like, they tried to really start the dynamic of diving the Ancient. They went in on that anti-mage when they could have just taken another set of racks, but they thought that the kill on the anti-mage was a little bit more important. Maybe they were like, dude, this whole 0 kill on anti-mage is really starting to get on my nerves. We need to put a number on the board, but the only number that matters is the win in the end, and Prodota come out 2-0 in the end of the series.
Well, there we go. We got 2-0 victory for Prodota, so that's moving along here. Once again, in the bracket, they'll move to the winner finals of this GSL format here of what is Group A. And again, they're going to be set to play the winner of the NIP versus Empire matchup, set to happen later on today. As far as Mouse Sports, well, again, they're still alive. They'll just play the loser now. And again, the mini double elimination tournament here in the group stage is the top 2 teams from each group ultimately are advancing on. So, but it's got to feel good for Prodota, who, like I said, watching them in the Zodak qualifiers recently, although they didn't qualify in the end, they got to the finals and they looked good doing so. Can't say I'm too surprised to see them win here with the way they have been looking lately. But Mouse Sports, continue to struggle at the other side of the spectrum. This is a team that, looks so good at the Boston Major, had that magnificent run, but really since then, online events and even at Kiev, they haven't necessarily been performing the greatest. So looking to recover here. They're going to have to do it in the losers bracket side, unfortunately, but definitely still hope to be had. So if you're a fan of Mouse Sports, fan of the Greeks there, know that is the case. But the Summit 7 qualifiers going to be continuing. We will have a little bit of a break here, being that it only was a 2-0 series. Our next matchup is set to take place in 45 minutes from now. And if I'm not mistaken, it is going to be, it is actually going to be from the other group. It's going to be the Cloud9 versus Alliance series, actually, going to be coming at you from Group B over there. You take a look at that bracket. You see Vega Squadron defeating Navi yesterday to move on. So we're going to see Alliance Cloud9, and then that will be followed by Empire versus NIP. But Tsunami, I believe that's going to be the end for you for this broadcast, though, for now. So I want to thank you for joining me. You have any shout-outs, any last words from yourself?
Nothing in particular. I'm looking forward to see which of these European teams makes it to Summit 7. It's going to be basically the last major land before TI, and so it's going to be, I imagine that invitations will most likely be out at that point, so it won't necessarily give you a running into a direct invite, but if you do level up against all the other invited teams, all the other teams that will be at the tournament, then you'll definitely be looking good coming into any qualifier for your region. So this qualifier is pretty important for all of the European teams gunning for that slot.
100% agree. I definitely obviously some great competition, and it'd be nice to have that on your resume as far as getting to the event, let alone doing well in itself. So, well, again, Prodota moving on, though. Congratulations to them. But like I said, we're going to have a short break here. Oh, okay. I'm not going to lie. Not going to be a short break. About a 45-minute break coming at you, but at 10 p.m. Eastern, or what would be 4 p.m. Central European Time, 1600 even, Central European Time. We'll be coming back here with our coverage of the Dota Summit 7 qualifiers. Look forward to that, guys. I'm Breaky CBK, joined by Tsunami here. Hopefully, guys, enjoyed that first match, but still plenty more to come. Stay tuned for that one, guys. We'll be back.